Spearheaded by Dr. Anton Rupert and with President Nelson Mandela and His Royal Highness Prince Bernhard of the Netherlands as co-founding patrons, Peace Parks Foundation was founded on the 1st of February 1997 to facilitate the creation of transfrontier conservation areas throughout Southern Africa.
If various countries across boundaries work together, that unites those countries, and the boundaries become something unimportant.
The concept of the region's peace parks is as glorious as it is audacious. Vast conservation areas that straddle national borders of sufficient extent to incorporate entire biomes, of sufficient integrity to restore the ancient patterns of diverse ecological communities, and of sufficient vision to reconnect the shared cultures of tribal peoples dislocated when colonial rulers arbitrarily imposed Africa's borders. At nearly 900,000 square kilometers, Southern Africa's peace parks today incorporate over half of the declared conservation estate in the region. This is larger than France and the United Kingdom combined. These parks are as astounding in their extent as in their natural magnificence, the immense richness of their biodiversity, and the importance of their cultural heritage. The peace parks of Southern Africa present a powerful vision of a shared ecological heritage and a mutually sustainable future. This is indeed an African dream to inspire a jaded world. A new generation of leadership has taken up the mantle of Peace Parks Foundation under the chairmanship of Johan Rupert. It aims to facilitate the delivery of fully functioning peace parks managed in harmony with their surrounding communities in order to create sustainable local, national, and regional benefit flows.
A few years ago, our minister signed an agreement saying that our countries will cooperate, will make a transfrontier conservation area, will allow that animals move back and forth, will also allow the tourists move back and forth, will do the joint tourism marketing. And this is what is happening. Wildlife that was protected in South Africa now is sent to Mozambique to be protected in this site, and this wildlife will roam around the whole area without knowing the boundary.
Having those animals here is a pleasure to me. I need just to work hard so that those animals might be safe here also in the Maputo Special Reserve.
Sometimes you can't describe things sometimes. Yeah. You don't find in the world lots of this anymore. Untouched. We need to use this to show people. The moment they arrive to this place, they will feel it the same as we do.
Ponta do Ouro Cozy Bay is the first marine transfrontier conservation area in Africa.
The Transfrontier Marine Park's a very exciting concept. All your populations of animals and fish, birds, reptiles are transfrontier. And now we've got a chance to actually protect them on both sides of the border.
Pontedor Partial Marine Reserve is very important for turtles, mainly for two species that nest here, loggerheads and leatherbacks.
The loggerhead is endangered. At the moment, the leatherback is critically endangered.
We found that this is the only place where especially the leatherbacks lay the eggs.
You go onto the beach, generally it's a calmish evening, the moon's maybe rising. You're sitting there, all is quiet. Then this shadow comes out of the water, slowly, and it walks up the beach, plodding. And you just sit back and you're absolutely awestruck. Maybe they've been doing it for 60 million years unchanged.
See a turtle coming out, you can't explain. It's something that you don't forget, ever. You have to experience it. You see a leatherback, then everything changes.
It comes up, it knows exactly what it's going to do, but maybe it hasn't been here for 30 years, it's never done this before. It comes up, it decides where it's going to build its nest. It carefully crafts a hole and then has a rest.
The moment you start laying the eggs, the turtles go in trance. On a monitoring program for us is the best time to do everything. Measure, tag if it's not tagged, check the tag if it's checked, and collect the genetic samples.
It's beyond comprehension how this can actually happen. And to actually see this happening in the wild, naturally, is an amazing experience.
Ecotourism can play a very important role in this area. We should promote turtle guides, walks, not only to get the funds to keep the monitoring program alive, but actually to share with people.
I have yet to see a tourist who's been on a turtle tour successfully who's not been totally awestruck by the experience.
You can't do conservation if the local community is not part of it. The Transfrontier Conservation Area includes the people on it. The ownership of this project has to be communities.
It's absolutely critical that you get the communities on your side.
At the moment we've got 63 local monitors covering the entire coast.
Turtles are bringing in much more benefit and revenue to the communities here than they could ever possibly get by killing the turtles and eating the meat.
This empowerment of communities in a project like that actually is the vision of Peace Parks. To use conservation as a change agent. We have an outpost at Milibangalala, and the local community there doesn't have access to official schools or clinics. We, the Marine Guards, are teaching at this stage 15 child to read and write in Portuguese. And they're learning also mathematics. And we add to that environmental education. If there's no education behind, you can't do conservation.
These resources here belong to the world. Vieiwing is a World Heritage Site, and we're also assisting people in southern Mozambique to try and get the same status for the land there.
The main focus at the moment to proclaim this area as a World Heritage Site.
Southern Mozambique becoming a World Heritage Site will really be good in that it'll bring in mechanisms which will ensure that when development goes ahead, it can go ahead in an eco-friendly way. have thousands of hatchlings each year successfully entering the water. But then as they enter the water, it's crystal clear, there's very little cover. There's predators, there's kingfishers, there's sharks, there's all sorts of things, there's birds, there's crabs. Most of them will be killed, but some do survive. And the good news is that in South Africa and southern Mozambique at the moment, we're actually making good progress towards protecting these animals. Numbers are increasing. This Transfrontier initiative gives us the opportunity to have an example now in Africa where two countries are cooperating together to mutually improve the management of fish resources is fantastic. It's a huge responsibility we've got to ensure that our children and our children's children can see this happening.
So I hope in the future that we can say that we made a difference